So what's going on, guys? I'm only going to plug this for one more time, that's going to be now. But if you don't already hear or know, I made another channel talking about Dragon Ball Z called ThinkDBZ. I have two videos out right now. One's here and one's here. One's talking about how Super Saiyan 4 is probably stronger than Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, and the other one is talking about how Goku should have been stronger than Raditz when Raditz arrived. It's the last time I'm going to be plugging this channel, but so if you like Dragon Ball Z, go check out this channel. I'm going to be posting on there more. So let's get on with the video. Right, so I have been into fusion decks probably since the original E-Heroes came out back in, what was it? 2005 Millennium Pack, what was it called? Or Millennium, maybe? Maybe it wasn't that deck card. Doesn't matter. When the fusion E-Heroes first came out, when like Clayman stuff, and they only had like Flame Wingman as the fusion monster, I was very fascinated by the deck, and as cards came out, I was really into it, and I thought it was a really cool thing when I was younger. So then when I got back in the game later and found that Heroes was a lot more developed, I've always been a fan of it, along with other fusion decks. But, you know, things like Heroes and stuff like that. I think fusion decks are cool. So, with that being said, when I saw this card on the weryugioh organization, which the link will be down below, because I'm not going to just steal a source, I saw this card called Fusion Recycling Plan. And I thought it was a very interesting card that needed to be talked about, and some of my thoughts on that card. So let's talk about the card. I'm going to have to bring up my phone because I memorized it. Okay. Fusion Recycling Plant, spell card, field spell. Once per turn, you can discard one card, add one polymerization from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Once per turn during your end phase, you can target one monster in your graveyard that was used as a fusion material monster for a fusion summon's turn and add it to your hand. It's a very interesting card, and I think this could kind of give fusions a little that it needed. So, the reason why I think that is because adding a fusion, a polymerization from your deck or a graveyard to your hand allows you to abuse it. Now, is that when it's activated? No, that is a once per turn. I don't know why I thought on activation. But yeah, once per turn you can add polymerization from your graveyard to your hand or from your deck. That makes polymerization, you might not have to play as many in a deck. If you play 3 of these field spells, you might only have to play 2 polymerization, honestly, because if you can keep abusing it, you don't really need as many. Now, I'm not saying people wouldn't play 3, and I'm just saying that could maybe cut down your deck a little bit thinning. And adding a fusion material monster back from your graveyard back to your hand that was used in a fusion summon is very useful in any fusion deck, regardless, any fusion deck that uses polymerization to its advantage anyways. Obviously, you're not going to use this card with ABCs, because you don't use polymerization. But, for the decks that use a fusion summon, now Masked Heroes, this wouldn't really be the same, but for classic fusion decks and any other type of fusion deck, this card, I see a lot of, I guess you could say more stability, more resourcefulness in the deck, simply because sometimes the thing about fusion decks is like, you could like use up your polymerizations, and you might have those cards like Fusion Recovery and stuff to bring them back, but it was like a one-time deal. This card, having a constant use as a field spell and being able to use it once per turn kind of gives you a little bit more of an advantage and consistency that it might not have had before. Now, do I think this card's like game-breaking and going to make Fusion broken? No. But maybe it can give that little boost to some fusion decks that a fusion deck's always been needing. Now, the only thing is, there aren't that many decks that just use polymerization. I mean, there are and there aren't. A lot of decks have their own fusion type card, but it's still a very useful card at that. Though, it could have been a little bit better. It could have been like return one fusion monster from your back to your extra deck and one material. I feel like that would have been a little bit more oomph, but maybe people would think that's too broken. I don't think that would be too broken, but that is something that I thought would make the card better. Though, altogether, it's a pretty good card. So let me know down below, what do you think about this card? Do you think it's good enough? Do you think it'll be useful in the game? Or do you think it's just one of those like one-and-done cards that come out that people don't really play until a deck that really takes advantage of it scoops up? So let me know down below. Also, check out the link to the source if you want to see that as well. So I'll see you later, guys. Peace! Damn.